Hello, and welcome to day 4 of finding grace through stillness. Sorry, it's a little bit later today. The day kind of escaped from me. Yesterday, we looked at finding stillness in our practice at the beginning of class, right? In our centering position, whether that be a seated position, whether that was Supta Baddha Konasana or child's pose, or one of your choosing. And as I talked about yesterday, centering, the whole point of centering is to come to stillness, right? To come onto our mat at the beginning of practice and just land on our mat and be there before we move into our asana practice. To be present in that moment and just, let all the other things go away and just be. Today I want to extend that a little bit further. So in centering, right, we're sitting on our mats and we want our mind to come to stillness so that our body can come to stillness. And then therefore that leads us into a mindful practice, right? Because after centering, then becomes breath awareness, moving in 4-part breath and then Ujjayi breath. So we've got that mindfulness happening that we talked about with the parts of the breath last week. And then we attach that with the asana. So we are moving our asana with our breath. Our breath is guiding the movement of the asana. And in all of that, we are remaining present and mindful and honoring each of those parts of the breath. And we are honoring then that the suspension of the breath and those moments of just being. But it's really difficult to come into a practice in clutter. So my tip for you today to bring into your mat practice is clear the clutter. Don't bring your shit into the room. That's what we always say at the studio. Leave your shit outside of the door. At most studios, I would say, they have appropriate places for your belongings that you don't need inside of your practice. What you need in a practice with you, you need your mat, definitely. You need blocks, most likely, maybe a strap or other props, depending if it's a hatha practice or a flow practice. Maybe your hot yoga towel, a towel to wipe your brow with. Water. These are all appropriate things to bring in with you. But when you're bringing your keys and your cell phone and then, let's bring in my whole yoga bag because it's easier to just bring my yoga bag in and unload it. And then I'm going to put it off to the side and, I'm going to take my sweater off and just throw that over there. And, now I got to take my socks off. I'm going to put those over there. And then you come into centering. And when you come into centering, all of your space around your mat is cluttered. Whenever all of your space around your mat is physically cluttered with stuff you don't need during your practice, that is going to take away from your stillness. It's like if you have, if you have a messy house, right? If you have a messy house and you don't have time to clean it up, all you keep thinking about is, oh my God, I got a sink full of dishes. When am I going to get those dishes done? Or I really need to clean the bathroom. I haven't done it. You think about those things. It doesn't mean you love doing those things, but you need to clean the clutter so that you can feel clear and relaxed, right? So if we have a cluttered space around our mat, then we are not allowing ourselves to just stand and land on our mat and be in our centering. Furthermore, that resonates into the asana practice. If we're in our asana practice with all of this clutter around us and we weren't able to come into our stillness and just be for those momentary breaths to allow us to get into a stillness and then a mindful breath practice, which leads into the asana, then we're not going to be able to be mindful within our whole practice. So for your own self and your own stillness, leave the shit at the door. That's what we say at the studio. Take only what you need to bring into your yoga practice with you and neatly organize yourself in your mat space so that you are only taking up appropriate amount of space. You're not cluttering or polluting your space. And more important, you're not cluttering or polluting your neighbors around you space. We might think that, oh, it's not bothering me. It might not be on a conscious level. It might be on a subconscious level that you're not aware of at that moment. But there's going to be people in the room that disrupts their stillness because they have your clutter around them. If everybody brought in clutter into the room, the whole room would just be filled of a whole bunch of things that no longer serve us. If in our breath practice, as we talked about last week, each of the parts of breath have a purpose. The exhale, as I talked about, is to get rid of the 97% of the toxins from our body that is not eliminated through going to the bathroom. So if we use our breath to get rid of that which no longer serves us internally, then why are we going to physically clutter our outside space when we're trying to be in that breath practice? So, tip of the day for on your mat space. In order to find stillness, you need to get rid of the shit. Only have what you absolutely need around you for that practice. If you don't need it, put it away in the appropriate space. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow for our next tip on exploring grace through stillness. See you later.